What's up, guys? Today's YouTube video I'm going to be talking about the specific clay tools that I use when creating my custom Funkos, what my setup looks like, and basically give you guys some alternatives as well if you don't want to invest in really nice tools and you're just starting out. I did a simple video on this like 2 years ago or more, but I want to update it because I got new tools at Christmas time. The Arteza. This is the Arteza set of 42. Arteza set of 42 pottery and clay sculpting tools, the premium set. You absolutely do not need all of these. Some of these are specifically for pottery. Actually, I'll show you that most of these are still in the box. They haven't even used them, so you don't need all of these, if any. But sometimes it's good to have a few nice tools to use frequently. But like, with polymer clay, it's heat activated. You don't use water. This isn't like the pottery, like earthy type clay that you would use in like school and stuff. So you don't need sponges to smooth and, like wet and smooth it, or there's just a lot of stuff in here. This is actually really handy. I don't know why I haven't taken this out of the box. There's a lot of different tools in here. I'm gonna take some of these out, actually. Let's talk about some of these. Tools like these are really handy. Arteza actually, and just disclaimer, I'm not sponsored by these people in any way. Hey, shout out guys though. I love your pains and I love your tools. If you want to sponsor me, cool. But I just really love the quality of their tools, and they're really at a great price, so it's not like you're paying a ton of money. This 42-piece set was probably, I think I saw it on Amazon for about $30-something. You can get like a more reasonable like 20-piece set for like $18. But yeah, there's a bunch of tools that look just like this. Several that can do like the exact same thing. So there's a lot of repeats in this box. So like some of them are double like ended here. So like I have a couple of these, specifically like the scooping tools. Here's another one. This is the one that I use most often because it's got this end where this one's got like a little loopy end. So there's so many. It can seem overwhelming, but it doesn't really have to be. Like I said, most of the stuff you're not even going to use. So I'm going to mainly talk about what I do use here. And, maybe I'll venture out and do some sculpts. I'm planning on trying something bigger, like a full-on sculpt with armatures and stuff like that. Like sculpting my own, like statue figurine type of thing. I haven't decided what character or how I'm going to go about that yet. There will be a video when I do. But until then, I just want to talk about what I do use and what you might find helpful when you're starting out and you're wanting to create your own like custom sculpted Funko. That's Larry. We're going to set him back there. Like I don't even use a rolling pin, guys. I recommend a nice size rolling pin. You could use something like this that comes in the Arteza box. Some people use pasta makers. That's really the best way to condition and flatten your clay. I just don't even bother with that. I'm going to show you guys. This is just really pathetic, but I use a coffee mug. It's got nice weight to it, and I just keep it on my desk. It's always available, and I just roll out, because I don't ever need really big rolled out pieces of clay. If you're doing something really elaborate, yeah, you want a rolling pin or a pasta machine. But I only ever need like small pieces to sculpt the details. So, or like if I'm doing a base, I might roll out like a little bit here, but, I just don't need to do anything big or elaborate. So I use a coffee mug. Proof that you don't need anything expensive or fancy to get started in polymer clay. What I do recommend, and again, it's something that I prefer to have nice ones, but you don't have to. And and that would be like a needle tool. Because you use this for so many things. You can use it for like writing like words out, and like carving it into the clay. I use it for stitching, like if I'm trying to just say, I don't know how well this is going to show up, but like if I'm trying to stitch like a pattern, it's really sloppy, but like a little stitching kind of pattern on like clothing or specific types of armor outfits. You know, you can just do so much with it, but you don't even have to have one. You can use a toothpick, just a wooden toothpick. It doesn't get any cheaper. You might even already have some in your house ready and available. Skewers like you would put on a grill, they have an even finer point than a toothpick does. So I usually use that for doing really, really detailed, like really fine lines in my paint jobs on my Funkos. If you ever see lines and you're like, wow, how did you get it that small? That's what it was. Trying to do, it's really hard to see, but she's got scissors in her little pouch there. Painting the fine line for those scissors in the pink. Yeah. Tip of a grill skewer, like a wooden. Wow, this is a broken skewer. I break them and I use the sticks to stir things, like stir paint and varnishes. But yeah, so you don't have to go out and buy tools, but they're definitely useful to have. I also love this cutting tool here. It's not sharp on either end. So it's not sharp, it's not like an Exacto blade, but it cuts the clay really nice. So also I'd recommend, like as you see here, I have a cutting mat and then I put wax paper on top of it. So the wax, putting the clay on here, I keep a nice clean piece of wax paper here. It keeps the clay clean. It keeps my cutting mat clean. And it's transparent enough that I can see the cutting mat line. So if I'm trying to cut a really straight line with my cutting tool here, like I can line it up with the line on the cutting mat and get a nice clean cut. So this is a great tool to have. Before I invested in these tools and got this nice one here, I was using a cheap plastic palette knife. This is a palette knife for like painting. I had a whole pack of these that I got from Michael's. They were literally like $1, maybe $2 at most for a whole pack of plastic palette knives. Instead of using them for painting, I ended up using them for cutting lines and designs. When I was doing the brick wall for one of my sculpted backgrounds, I think I used this one to cut long, straight lines into the clay. So that's another cheap option for you. Some people actually use Exacto knives, but I don't really think you need that sharp of a blade. Like I said, this isn't sharp. I'm not going to cut myself with it. And, you know, that's what I prefer because I'm clumsy and I don't want to cut myself and bleed everywhere while I'm trying to make custom Funkos. Another tool that is very valuable is the ball tool. And these come in all different sizes. So this tool has, you can kind of see, it's like a ball. There's a smaller one on the opposite end. And you can get really tiny ones too. Like you can't even see the ball on this. It's not like even showing up. But so you can get different sizes to do different things. For my Gideon the Ninth Funko, to create the skull and like hollow out the eyes and the nose and stuff, I used different sizes. Like I used the larger ball for the eye sockets. And then I used a really tiny one to get the nose. You can also use them. I do them a lot with use them a lot with the robot like pieces. Like when I did a Cyborg Doom Patrol Funko, in Robot Man stuff, they have the little, you know, you got little metal panels and they got the little, like, little holes, little rivets in it, and you're wanting to get that detail, and you can just, you know, press it in just a little bit to get the indentation in there. So like if you were, which tool do I want here? So if I was trying to make something look like a metal panel, I would use this. So this is just a rough example. I'm not taking my time to make anything look nice, but so if this is a metal panel here, I would take my little ball tool and make it look like it was bolted in. Something like that. So there's different things you can do, things that will let you create different textures. I have these tools. You can tell they're already covered in clay. I need to clean them from my last use, but more than the loop tool itself, you can use this to blend pieces of clay together or scrape clay off. If you're trying to slim something down, you want to just scrape a little bit of clay off. But mostly these days I use this for the texture. As you can see, there's clay all in it, and I gotta clean it. That's how I created Larry's bandages, was I just rolled it over once the clay was nice and soft. Just to create a little texture in there. So there's so many different ways and different things you can do with tools, and you can get creative. Like I said, with toothpicks and plastic palette knives and grill skewers, you can almost make anything work for you. But it's nice to have this set. Like, once I got these tools, I found that everything was a lot more efficient. So it's just something that, of course, is going to come over time as you get more confident with your sculpting and find out what works, what doesn't work, trying new things. Like I said, this comes in the pack, and this pretty much does, I mean, there's probably multiple uses for this. Scooping out little sections of clay, cutting lines into clay. But I mean, this is a little bit larger than what I would need for most of my projects. So if I need to cut or make lines, I generally just use this one tool. So you really don't need like a ton of fancy tools. You don't need huge sets. Now, if you're doing multiple type projects in different sizes, then, you know, maybe this is a good investment for different types of clays and stuff like that. Just for the scale of things that I'm working on, I just don't need a lot of tools, and I mostly work with the smaller, like ball tools and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm going to link in the description, like my clay tutorials, all about working with polymer clay, how to get started with customizing Funkos. But this is the clay I use. Actually, this is a new brick I just bought. This is super sculpty. And you'll see in my older videos, it came in a cardboard box. And it wasn't wrapped in anything. It was just in the cardboard box. And it was so prone to drying out. But I've heard really good things about this new packaging. Being in this keeps it fresher longer. And like it feels much softer than the Super Sculpey that came in the boxes by the time I got it. So I'm really excited to open that up and get sculpting. Another cool thing you can do with, if you're wanting to cut out shapes, that the needle tool is good for. Like, this is something, you just get creative with things that you find. Keep everything. Like, my art desk is actually really disgusting most of the time. I cleaned it for this video, but it's cluttered. So I keep everything. So I popped this off of a Funko, and I just kept it. It was the perfect size for a base. So what I do is I'll put it down in the clay. I'll roll it out. This isn't like well rolled out. It's not even, but just for the sake of this video, like I would take the tool, the needle tool, and just cut out like the shape that I want. And then that would give me a nice size base. And you can do this with different things like cookie cutters and stuff like that. I have tutorials all about making bases like the one that I made for Gideon. But yeah, so you just use the needle tool, go around it, and it gives you a nice little line cut. But yeah, I think that covers most of it. Again, just be creative. I'll probably do another video on specifically how to do textures. If there's something that you don't understand here or you want to see that hasn't been discussed in one of my videos, feel free to ask questions in the comments below, and I will always try to answer the questions and do videos if, you know, I can do enough content on that. Got some more tutorials coming out, some time-lapse pieces in the works. If you found this helpful in any way, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithms. It really helps out the channel. I'm going to link a lot of stuff to help you get started if you're new and this is you starting your journey into custom Funkos. I have videos to help you out. But yeah, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I will be back with another video. Thank you. Bye-bye.